Welcome to the Fitish Podcast, everybody.
I'm glad you're in a good mood because I can barely take a deep breath and I'm waddling. I'm at the waddling stage.
Like a penguin waddle?
It's so much more comfortable to walk that way.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I guess I don't know. I can't explain it, but I guess it's a pregnant woman thing. You see them walk kind of different, you know? Yeah.
A lot of deep breaths from the pregnant women.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time taking a deep breath, so I don't know if that's going to get worse or not. I think that's normal.
So let me ask you this, because your boy is never going to get to experience life in his body. Unless we have some crazy...
I don't know.
I mean, unless we have some crazy breakthrough. I'd be down. Like if they said one day,
you
hey,
could try it.
Men, you guys could be vessels for these babies.
I have heard, before you asked me your question, I have heard that M-Sculpt, that treatment that's really popular and kind of pricey that women and men can do on their abs and their buttocks for toning. It's like doing 1,000,000 crunches in 20 minutes. I have heard that if you go get that done as a man, that you can feel like partially what a contraction feels like when a woman's in labor.
No, don't they have those little tense units you could put on like my groin area and then just...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't tried those.
I have a tense unit.
Have you put it on your abs and turned it up real high?
No.
Why don't you try it and see how it feels?
Because I don't want to know if I want to know.
It's kind of scary, doesn't it?
I'm not talking about I just want to know what it feels like in there. Like, is it pushing on your lungs? Is it pushing on the guts, the bladder? Like, where's
Definitely the bladder, and it depends on... I learned this very TMI about Jenna's body, but I have something called a tilted uterus. Doesn't that sound fucked up?
You have a tilted uterus?
Yeah. So it only took me 37 years of going to the doctor for one when they were inside to go, did you know you have a tilted uterus? I was like, well, that makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Do you have a leaning uterus of Jenna? Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, a leaning uterus of Jenna. So apparently
Nice.
1 in 5 women have it. It's like a normal uterine aberration. Like there's nothing bad about it. And I kind of thought, oh man, like when I get pregnant, how does the baby come out?
Yeah.
Basically, like a uterus either tilts kind of forwards ways or backwards ways. So mine's just reversed. But the problem with having a tilted uterus is it tends to sit on your urethra more, which is where you pee.
The pee hole.
And so you're like more inclined to get bladder infections and UTIs and yeast infections and things like that.
A tilted uterus can do that to you?
So now college makes so much sense.
Yeah, well,
I'm blaming my tilted uterus. Yeah.
If it makes you feel better, us guys, we have tilted wieners too.
Tilted wieners, yeah.
Yes, Most of us.
So I already have that kind of bladder pressure, but yeah, when you're pregnant, so like you don't know this as a woman, but not being a woman, and maybe you do, maybe your bladder shifts in the middle of the night, like when you've been laying down all night. You know, when you go to pee in the morning, does it ever kind of come out in a weird way just because your bladder's probably shifted? I would assume male bladders are similar. So
it also depends on it, like if you did it the night before.
Oh, really?
Like for guys,
sure.
You've heard about that, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes there could be some cloggage. So fellas,
oh yeah, because I guess it's all coming out of the same hole.
You always got to make sure you go number one after you do the deed, because if you don't, and the next morning it's gonna be a freaking good luck. You're gonna clean something because it's gonna go all over.
I've had a lot of issues though, being pregnant, I think just because of hormones and stuff. So, just kind of like being irritated and just the whole thing's been kind of annoying. But yeah, so anyway, it's been weird because I'm thinking if I'm at 22 weeks and I still have, 18 weeks to go, man, it's going to be rough.
Does that sound like a long time to you right now, or saying 18 weeks seems like, oh crap, it's like shit, it's around the corner?
I don't know what it is, but I was always looking forward to 20 weeks since I started the IVF, because 20 weeks is halfway. 20 weeks, you're really in the safe zone after about 15 weeks, but things can happen. But I don't know, 20 weeks sounded nice because I thought, I'd finally have a bump, and I'd be feeling good. And I do feel better for now, but I don't know. I think what's freaking me out is that first part of all this, maybe since, I've been talking to you about doing IVF since January and the failure and all of that. Fuck, time, drug on. And I think most women know, and probably men too, when you've been trying to get pregnant with your partner, you're like, the woman's peeing on sticks every day. And then if it doesn't work 1 month, you're like, oh man, like another 28 days or 14 days, whatever, you have to wait till your next month. And so, it can be so tedious. And so to all of a sudden sit here and be like, oh my gosh, once I hit 20 weeks, the last couple of weeks have just flown by, probably because I feel better. I'm not dying all day, every day.
You don't have to take shots anymore?
No shots. No shots. Plan the baby moon to Paris, and I've been looking at bathrooms because that's apparently an issue that you have to pay to use most of the bathrooms, or you have to sit down and eat or get a drink to use the bathroom.
Hold on one second, because I heard about this rumor in the European countries.
This rumor.
For a country, for a continent to be European, you have peeing in there. Peeing should be free, right? Like they make us pay to go use the bathroom.
Yeah.
I thought that was a myth.
I mean, there are some public bathrooms, and I've heard, I mean, they have good drinking water in Paris, like in the streets to fill up bottles. So Paris is known to be a very clean, very technologically advanced city. Their public transportation is very clean.
Yeah.
I mean, very unlike how we have it here. They say actually take the metro there because it's great, but they do say they're really great to pregnant women. So if you're over there pregnant, they pay women when they get pregnant. I mean, I guess we do too here for welfare, but no, they actually pay women.
And you get maternity leave, so I guess
they pay women. They take really good care of women. I've been reading about food, but yeah, I've been having to look up some shit because, all the cheese is unpasteurized and you cannot have that when you're pregnant.
But that's better for you, isn't it?
Well, it's better for us in
Health-wise.
general, kind of, but there's a lot of bacteria in there. So yeah, so I have to stay away from so much. And I don't know. I'm like hoping I can, I may have I have to have like a glass of wine or two when I'm over there.
I wrote about this too, because you're bringing up the food out there.
Yeah.
In like Italy and France. And their food, if we eat it here every day, we grow. We get big, huge. But over there, if you look at the European people or the French people or the Italian people, you know
where that is.
They're thin. It's because none of their pasta, none of their food, none of their bread is processed.
Exactly.
It's all fresh.
So everything we have here is preservatives, right? And even their alcohol. So their alcohol, wine and all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, because people will say, man, I drink so much wine and had cheese and pasta every day and I wasn't hungover and I didn't gain weight. But yeah, their shit's just way healthier, way healthier than ours is.
Imagine if we did that here, like how much better off we would be as a country.
Yeah.
If we would treat ourselves and our citizens better with our diet.
Yeah.
Are you starting to feel like, do you feel your skin stretching as you like every day? Are you feeling like just like
itchy? That's how you know skin stretching, because it's really, really itchy.
And that's when you got to put on that lotion stuff?
Yeah. So I've been trying different kinds. I've been actually working on samples because I'm like, I got to do some fetish like body balm.
For the mama.
Yeah. So I've been trying some different stuff out and other brands too, just kind of seeing what I like. And so I've been putting on a bunch of stuff. I guess. I mean, honestly, JC, I don't know. I'm just going to say this. So many women, just like with everything else, are so good all the time, about like taking all their vitamins every day and, doing this skincare routine. And I've never been that person that is in a good routine every single day. And so no, I don't put lotion on every day. And then I'm upset about it when I'm in bed at night because I'm like, man, I again didn't put lotion on today, Which is
fine. We shouldn't be afraid of like the stretch marks and stuff. The coolest thing I saw moms talk about.
Easy for you to say.
I know it's easy for me as a dude to say, but the coolest post I've seen from moms, even like Halsey had her post, and she showed that she had her stretch marks. So like even celebrities are getting them. Don't look at them as scars. Look at them as like medals of honor.
I wish I felt that way. I'm kind of resentful of my body right now. I know so many women are like, God, the body's amazing. I'm like, this is fucking weird and I'm uncomfortable and I'm really freaked out by the whole thing.
You got a dude in there right now.
Yeah, I can feel him. He's doing some shit.
He's kicking his shit?
I mean, it sometimes feels like I have gas bubbles, but yeah, he's starting to do some stuff. He's bubbling around. Yeah.
Takes after his mom with the soccer skills.
I know. Speaking of soccer, I was telling JC before we started the podcast today that I took full reins of this trip to Paris, right? Like I had a lot of miles. It's Fran's birthday and he was sick last year on his birthday. And obviously with COVID, we didn't do anything and he was in bed the whole time. And so I wanted to surprise him. So I already told him in the middle of the night, the other night, I was like, do you want to go to Paris? Like, okay, cause I'm going to plan it. So I didn't surprise him, but I wanted to make sure he was on board with going. So, but I'm doing everything for the most part. I mean, I'm going to let him book a couple things, but I don't know. I just decided I've never been to Paris.
Mm-hmm.
I took 12 years of French. It sounds cozy and it's going to be cold and I hate the cold. I don't know why I want to go there, but it sounds romantic and it's like my life is about to be over as I know it. So I'm just going to go to Paris because it sounds great. And when else am I going to go? I mean, not in the next few years after I have a newborn. So
yeah, you're going to be busy raising a child.
And Paris wouldn't be like the first baby destination vacation that I'd want to take, So anyway, so I'm planning it and I haven't really asked him. He's a foodie. I'm not a foodie at all. I love we're going to go to a couple of those Michelin star restaurants, we're staying at a really nice hotel. Yeah, Michelin tires have restaurants. Nice. Yeah. We're staying at a nice hotel and there's 2 Michelin restaurants in that hotel. So I'm booking it. Even though him and I talked about it on last week's show, I'm always a big fan of these restaurants because of the food they serve. It's
What do they
so
serve?
fancy. And in Paris, and I don't judge me for this, I don't really like traditional French food, okay?
Escargot.
Oh, yeah.
Duck.
Yeah, right. Foie gras. No.
What the hell's foie gras?
Do you know what foie gras
Is
is?
that frogs?
It's fatty
Oh.
goose liver, but do you know how they make it?
No.
I'm going to ruin everyone right now. I think most people know what foie gras is, but it's more about the texture. And then when you learn the abuse the animal
Fog that,
through.
man.
And look, and
Fog that.
There's a list of like the 10 most abusive foods, basically is what they call it, like meats, And so some things you've never heard of for sure. Foie gras is a very fancy, yes, and usually French dish, but a lot of nice restaurants will have it.
Jenna, if you tell me they take the damn duck or whatever it is into the alley and beat the crap out of them, like jump them like a gang.
Way worse.
Okay, that's worse.
Way worse, actually. So
What?
the way they make it, and I'll probably be corrected because I'm going to leave some things out, but the gist of it is really that they are in small, confined area, heavily force-fed through a tube to get the fattiest liver imaginable until they're then slaughtered. So that's why really good, I don't like foie gras because I don't even like the texture. So when that's how it's made, and I'm sorry, because I'm not trying to come off as an animal activist. I'm always morally torn because I do eat meat. Like I eat red meat and I just can't be a vegan, but I do kind of consider certain things. Like there's certain things that I've stopped eating just because like knowing more about the animal in particular, like I'm not going to eat endangered animals, and I don't eat octopus because they're like beyond brilliant and like have a lot of feelings.
Oh, damn it. See, I
know, and you see calamari.
I'll munch on that octopus.
They are so unbelievably smart, and so yeah, you should watch some stuff on octopus.
But it's so good.
It's fine. I don't judge people that eat. I don't. And Fran gives me shit, but anyway, foie gras is one of those that it is absolutely a delicacy. People love it. I don't like the texture because first of all, it's like gray. It's a liver. I don't know if you've seen liver. It's slimy and. Nope. I've had it before, because they'll make like pate, which is also liver, I believe. Yep. But foie gras is the force-fed through a tube, getting the liver in a short period of time, killing them at a young age. It's like young, youthful, very fatty liver from the geese.
I might be throwing some misinformation as well here, so we're warning on that. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I heard veal, which is it's a steak or a meat.
Veal, yeah.
It's baby cows.
Baby
cows, and they some suspend them so they never use their muscles. So that's why the meat is very tender. So I refuse to eat veal.
Yeah,
I will not.
Baby animal, I try to stay away from. Fran tricked me into something in Mexico City, which I'm still upset about because I didn't know what baby pig was in Spanish. Huh? What is it?
Porquito, cerrito.
Something like that, yeah.
Cochinito.
It was like baby pig, and I had a bite of a taco, and it was like pretty good. And he was like, it was baby pig, and I was like, why do you gotta say the baby? If you just said it's pork. Pork is such a harsher word, than saying like, I feel like it's the equivalent of like fucking and lovemaking. Like, why say baby pig? Why tell me it's baby pig? Because then I just think like Charlotte and the web or like Charlotte's
cochinito.
Web. And
it sounds cute, right? Everything in Spanish when we say cochinito or pajarito.
I've learned now any ito means it's probably pretty tiny and useful.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to eat it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, call Fran's thing pitito one time.
So I'm trying to figure out what else to, what is it?
Pitito.
Petito.
Pitito. Pilincito.
Well,
my Mexican
I'm sure
people
that would really get him in the mood.
Yeah, don't do that.
But yeah, since I'm taking the reins, I realized something about Fran that I'm trying to book things for him. And I was talking about food mainly because he loves food in general, fancy food, all that kind of shit that I'm not going to like, which at least I have an excuse that's not going to be too rude to get out of it because it's,
I'm Team Jenna on everything that you said no to right there, especially escargot. My grandma used to eat escargot.
I know. Those are snails.
That's snail.
Right? Yeah.
That's disgusting. Go look at a slug. They look like a booger mixed with...
It surprised me with you that you are that grossed out by certain things because I don't know. Maybe I just have this stereotype now that like every Mexican has a really like open palate.
I
you
do.
know, which you but
Open
you
relationship and open palate.
You
That's me.
don't have an open palate at all. You're
I
pretty
do.
picky.
But I've eaten, and I don't have an open relationship. I was completely joking. But I'm down to try like bugs. Like, I'll eat some
I know
mealworms.
because that's like also part of your culture.
I'll eat some gusanitos.
What is that?
That's worms. Little tiny worms. Sometimes it can make the worms taste, or crickets. I eat kiri. You put it with some seasoning. It tastes like Doritos. I swear you might be sitting there gagging, listening to this podcast.
I am gagging. I've tried all of it. I've tried ant butter at a really nice restaurant in Mexico City. I hated it.
Yeah.
There were ants in the butter. And then you look down, and you're like eating outside and there's like ants on the ground and you're like, is this where they came from? Friends like, no, these are different ants.
Straight from the farm.
Like, oh, really? These are fancy ants?
Yeah, straight from the farm. AKA the ground to your taco. Why not? Sesos, I've tried that, which is brain. Not a big fan of that.
Fran loves it.
He likes sesos. I'm not a big fan of it.
Did I not tell you about? I tried that one time. It looked like an empanada. His parents were serving it. His niece, who can't be but 9 years old, is just munching on these things. She's like eating these empanadas, and I'm like, oh, I'll have one of those. And so I took a bite of it, and I was like, because I live by this rule. I will try any food for the most part, as long as I don't think it's going to make me vomit. I'll try any food one time. And if I hate it, then I'm just not going to try it again. But so I'm adventurous and I'm around his family and I took a bite and I'm like, it tasted to me like warm tuna salad in this empanada. And I couldn't really place it, which is always scary when you're almost 40 and you can't place a food you put into your mouth. And they're all looking at me and I'm like, oh, fuck, something's up.
Finish it now.
I'm like, Fran. I was like, no, they're looking at me because I think they know. They're like, oh, she likes that. And I'm like, what is this? And Fran goes, I don't think we should tell her. So
you should tell me when you say that.
Tell me. And then, of course, I don't know what it is about that. Like, as soon as you find out that it's brains,
change.
then you started going, wow, I thought it was tuna salad. That's what warm, mushy, brains taste like. So, no, I didn't finish
Lengua,
mine.
tongue. Kind of like that. I'll eat tongue. Tongue is cool. Tripas, nope. That's guts.
I don't like this about myself, though. I don't like that the older I've gotten that all that stuff grosses me out. I mean, I wish, and I said to Fran, I go, I'm fine if you want, as long as it's clean and well made. I'm fine if you want to take our son and introduce him, because I think if I had grown up eating lengua and I had been, now like I don't want to look at a tongue and eat it. And I know that, that is such a great thing in Mexico. Everyone loves the tongue and everyone I've met, and I just go, when you don't grow up trying things like that, it sounds awful. But I think if you're a small child and you grow up eating those things,
it's normal to you.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it shouldn't be called French kissing. It should be called Mexican kissing, because we're the ones that put the tongue in our tacos.
That's true.
Like, I don't even know why the French get the French kissing. Like, that's the best form of kissing in the world, and you guys get to claim it. You ain't.
Because the French kiss is actually the la bise, which is like the cheek kiss.
You know what I'm saying? Which is weird. But since we're talking about food, let's talk about our friends over at Noom, because we were talking about psychology and how Jenna saw what a brain, once she figured out it was brain, it did something to your psyche and it completely changed the taste of it, which is exactly not what Noom does. It doesn't change the taste of everything, but it's psychology-based dieting, basically.
Kind of, because it's more about JC, and I don't know the ratio if it's more women than men that go through this, probably, but I think a lot of times women's food issues have everything to do with psychology.
Exactly.
Like, you eat based on your emotions. You may not even be listening to your body. You may not be hungry. You're just sad or you're tired or you're dehydrated and you're just eating based off your feelings.
And in fact, take the word diet out of your vocabulary. Noom wants to help you eat better and use your brain to do that. So they use their psychology-based approach. So instead of setting a strict set of rules, they empower you with knowledge. So that way you can build a smarter, more sustainable habit. And they give you little missions and little articles to read every day. So you could check in on the app and be like, all right, today I'm going to read about this and learn, okay, this is what I'm doing wrong. Okay, this is my goal for today. So they set you up with goals, and they give you achievable goals as well, which is everything, right? You want achievable goals. No food is off limits, which is awesome, right? A lot of people try to tell you, don't eat this, but eat that. Noom is not about that. They just want to make sure that you continue to eat what you love, but have that balance. Life is about balance. And the science behind Noom, you want to know about this? 80% of users will complete the program. That is extremely high when you think about something, especially when it comes to our habits and eating. 80% of people are finishing. More than 60% of users lose 5% or more body weight. which is great. That's our goal. Then go ahead and get into it.
Where do I go if I want to try it?
If you want to try Noom, get yourself some. Start building better habits for healthier long-term results. Sign up for your trial at Noom.com/fittish. That's NOOM.com/fittish. Speaking of eating, Jenna, I don't know if have you ever been confused on whether you're depressed or happy?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I've been confused on whether I'm depressed or sad because those are different.
No, I'm completely just. I sat in my car yesterday with my son, and I thought to myself, "Shit, am I depressed, or am I just like really happy and content?"
Yeah. Okay. So you're just saying because you don't have any drama and you don't have a whole lot like going on.
We all have drama. But here's why. Okay.
But just kind of like,
I'm a very regimented person, right? So I'm somebody that I have my schedule set. I have to do, my daily things every day. And one of those things is going to the gym.
Yeah, good
I have
for
to
you.
go to the gym. That's my stress relief. And I try to eat extremely healthy during the week. We've talked about this before.
You're
really healthy
usually
during the
a
week.
machine about it. Yeah.
And then on the weekend, I'll have myself a nice little cheat meal. And that's how I've been for the last, 15 years or so. But I found myself in the middle of the week with my son in the car, driving to Taco Bell.
Good for you.
Right? That's what I was thinking. I'm like, and as I'm in the drive-thru, I'm like, shit, I didn't go to the gym today. I skipped the gym. Instead of going to the gym, I watched Squid Game.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I cried on my couch. I did. I cried. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I cried.
Why?
Episode 6. You know what you want to talk about?
No, I've just watched the first couple. It's
okay,
all right.
so
yeah.
I cried on episode 6. So I chose watching TV over going to the gym, which is usually a no-no for me, which was a little bit alarming. And then I went, instead of going and grabbing like a salad or a nice little steak bowl or something, I went to Taco Bell with my son. And I thought to myself, I'm like, oh, damn.
Your life's like your life is my everyday.
I'm spiraling right now. Like, what's wrong with me?
No, I don't know. I mean, I think it's more, are you feeling, I always gauge it like, are you depressed if you're not looking forward to something? Like, are you looking forward to tomorrow? Are you feeling, because I get what you mean, because you're very different in that way. If I lived as regimented of his life as you, I would go mad. Like I'd be depressed because I find it so mundane, like so boring to have the same thing every day. I mean, other than the working out and stuff, I know having a schedule is nice, but yeah, just, I think it's exhilarating some days to be like, you know what? I'm going to turn on the TV in my office and watch a movie right now, and I'm going to order some unhealthy food up here.
That's what I felt like. I was like, look at me.
Because I like to do that. There's freedom in that. I like that. And it's probably, if you're bonding with your son too, it's great.
Yeah. Because my son was thrilled that I didn't make him eat healthy yesterday.
I bet.
He's like, we're going to Taco Bell? He goes, it's not the weekend, right?
See,
like,
and that's what a good little memory for him.
Oh, okay, good. Because I yelled at him earlier that day. So.
I don't think so. I mean, I think that, and I'm not a therapist, but at the same time, I've been depressed before, so I know the difference between depression and being sad, which has been interesting for me lately because I've actually felt some days I feel sad, but then I've Googled a lot about it. They say like pregnancy hormones can actually make you feel that way. Like you can be happy some days and then you can feel
heavy
sad.
Spikes, right? Like
yeah, you can feel like sad, which sounds crazy to be pregnant and be sad, but I've heard that that's normal. So I'm just trying to not overthink it. But I would be more concerned if you stopped exercising and you were just like only eating fast food and playing video games every single day and not spending time with anyone and isolating yourself. Are we there?
That. Doesn't that sound freaking fun?
Probably for you, because think about how much responsibility you have. You get up really early to go to work. You have to every day. You have a family to take care of. I'm sure anyone that lives that life, it can become a grind. So the escape, the sound of just like pigging out and locking yourself away by yourself.
Feels nice.
It sounds like a little vacation. Yeah.
Crying on the couch watching TV. Like who does that on middle of the week?
I do every day. I'm telling you, I do that every day.
I was so scared that my wife would come home, that Kinsey would come home in the middle of that, and she would just find me on the couch and like call a psychiatrist or something. She's like, "Why are you sitting there crying?" I'm like, "Cause you don't know this man. I grew feelings."
No, I think it's great. That's so fun. Yeah.
So I came in super confused. I was like, "Shit."
You did this yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's fine.
But also, I was kind of proud of myself.
Yeah.
was proud, but it was weird. It was a weird vibe.
I like a lot of personal days. I think that's what scares me so much about my life right now is I feel like I just went from, and you've known me since I was this other person. Like you've known me since I was for all these years, being an only child. I mean, yes, I have two half siblings that are amazing that I see frequently, but for all intents and purposes, I grew up an only child. And so when you're an only child and people that were only children, that you're pretty selfish with your time because you're self-soother. I do a lot better alone when I'm stressed or tired. I like to be alone. That's how I kind of regenerate. I don't like to be around a lot of people all the time. And all of a sudden, like I'm sitting on the couch some nights and I'm like, holy shit, I got like a guy over there. I got these 2 dogs on my stomach and something else growing in my stomach. Like, what the fuck? Like, I just feel like, and it's hard to say to Fran because he has a sister that, like, I can't say that to my partner. He loves his family. He would live with them. He would see them every day if he could. And I'm just not that type of person. So, like, even right now, I'm like, I'm getting shortness of breath thinking about it because I'm like, oh my God, my life is over. I said this to Claudia. Claudia is one of my best girlfriends. She works at the show with you. She is behind the scenes.
She's one of my favorite. Claudia and her husband Steven are some of the just greatest humans I've ever met.
They are, but they're different now since they had 2 kids.
Everybody's different.
And I know. And so I was saying to her, I mean, yeah, I absolutely love them. And she came over the other day, brought me the coolest baby present for the little boy. She got this custom little leather jacket made with a lion on the back. It says Little Rizzo. Yeah, so cute, so nice. So she came over just for a minute and we were catching up. And I said that to her. I was like, I feel like my life is over. And then I kind of stopped because I'm like, well, she has 2 small children. And she looked at me and she was like, it's different, but it's really great. You're going to love it. And it was convincing. Like I know she feels that way because her and her husband used to be way more social than I am. I mean, they were like going out to dinner every night. They were very social. So I don't know why I'm so freaked out. Fran says he's a little bit freaked, but not too much. But I just want to say this, like this is going to sound terrible. I'm more scared than I am excited and happy right now.
That's normal.
Yeah.
You're literally going to be in charge of a human life.
Yeah.
It's scary. It really is.
That part's scary to me. Yeah. Like the anxiety of like, now you're so responsible for like, and I think I watch too many TikTok videos and I'm starting to get in my feed too many videos of like, child loss and things like that. A lot of people will post about things that happen to their babies. And I'm like, why am I getting these videos? I don't want to see these videos. So
don't watch that. Don't watch what goes wrong during pregnancies. Because honestly, if you you got to look at the statistics.
Yep.
It's such a small chance. Anything can happen at any point.
I always say, like, if teen moms can keep their kids alive, no, it's less about keeping the baby alive as it is about my identity. I think, my own identity, working on my relationship with Fran and making sure, because, I get how it becomes all about kids. I mean, it becomes all about kids and I don't want that for myself. I've never wanted that for my life. I don't want my whole life to be only about that either. And of course it's going to be in the beginning because, when they're
they need you.
Infants, but I worry about work. So yeah, I have a lot of these worries. And so I told Fran, I was like, I think we need like a therapist, like to intervene, not because we're having issues, but to talk about how
talk you off the edge.
Talk me off the edge. Yeah. To talk about like how you keep your relationship good kind of setting. I mean, I think you and Kinsey still do date night here and there, right?
So that's the number. So Kinsey and I have been together now 20 years.
It's crazy.
I know. We started dating at 1-year-old. We've been together for 20 years. And that's the like number one question I get asked. Because a lot of people that started dating when we started dating are not together. I think there's only one other couple that we saw in college.
I know since I've known you, you've definitely had moments that were difficult, but not
100%.
like, I don't think you've had like full divorce moments.
No, I mean, has Kinsey maybe at one point during our relationship wanted to leave me? Probably, yes.
Has she packed all my shit and left it outside? It's happened.
No, she hasn't done that. But I think because we set that line, right?
Yeah.
Where we said, if we're not going to break up, that's stupid, that's juvenile. We're not going to break up, get back together, because then that starts a cycle. You don't want to start that dumb cycle. So I told her we're never going to break up. When we do, it's finalized. It's done. So that got rid of that. But we did go through our tough times. We went through our ups and downs. We went through our doubtful moments. Both her and I did. And that goes with growing.
Yeah.
We met at 18 years old. And we had to navigate through our 20s, which were fucking just
Yeah, I'm so different now than I was in my 20s. I think that's why a lot of people do get divorced, because if you don't grow together real well, you're different people in 10 years.
She accepted my faults during the 20s, and I accepted hers, and we got through it. We got married, had kids, and now we're to the point where they ask us, like, what made it work now? What makes it work now that you have kids? Because you made it work obviously in your 20s, but what about now? And I tell everyone, you need to keep freaking dating each other. Do not fucking stop dating each other. Don't go watch your own TV shows by yourself. Don't go and take too many of, alone nights with your friends. You need those nights. You need to go with your friends. Absolutely. But you also need to go date each other.
Yeah.
Have a date night. At the very least. And this is just my personal opinion. At the very least, a couple should have one date night. One just me and you date night a month.
A month, yeah.
Just one. Go to dinner. If you got the money, maybe surprise sometimes and do a hotel stay, which is what Kinsey and I are doing this weekend.
And I'm sure it's really hard for people that don't have help with childcare.
Absolutely, it's tough. But we got friends, like we've had friends that help us out, and like, hey, we'll watch your kid one weekend, you watch ours this weekend. Or our kids are old enough now to where they can have sleepovers with their friends. If you have your parents that live in the same town, that is a godsend. We don't have that.
Times that you don't only talk about the kids too, right?
Yeah,
like having some, and I always said to Fran, it's important to me that we have a lot of interests right now. We have different interests. We have a lot of common interests. So, and traveling's always been great for us, but I'm like, because you can't just then go to dinner and then only talk about your kids' issues all night.
Yeah. And you know what? And there's a lot of people with money issues right now because of the pandemic and everything. And it does make it, I'm not lying. It makes it difficult to do that, especially with babysitting. Babysitters are expensive, but you could use that month and save up, have a little side and save up that money for a babysitter. And your date doesn't have to be extravagant. It's literally just going out together and having fun and laughing and joking around and being dumb. Being goofy together. That's all you got to do. That's my one advice that I give people.
I think that's great. No, I'm hoping to get a therapist from BetterHelp on the show to kind of talk more at length about some of this as well, because I think a lot of people could benefit from, that sort of conversation or therapy in general. And BetterHelp's not just about parenting and, relationship therapy. It's about everything in life therapy, right? So no matter what you're going through. And again, I know you talked about money, a lot of people make excuses for, not spending money on their mental health because things can be expensive, but that's why BetterHelp is, so amazing, because it's virtual therapy, number one. It's also way more affordable than any of this other in-person therapy that you might be looking to book in your city. So they're going to customize it. They're actually going to be able to match you up with a therapist for you to start communicating with someone in under 48 hours. So again, whether this is about work or you're single or you're depressed or you're in a relationship and you're on the verge of divorce or
you're losing grip and you're having anger issues. There are so many things you could deal with here.
Yeah, and I'm sure I didn't even scratch the surface of all the issues that some of you might be dealing with. But JC and I are big fans of this. I mean, we've been to therapy on and off for not together for different reasons, with partners, alone, throughout our lives. We've always been very vocal about the importance of it. So why don't you check out BetterHelp and see if it's for you? This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and all of our Fittish listeners are going to get 10% off your first month when you go to betterhelp.com/Fittish. That's BetterHelp.com/Fittish.
Love BetterHelp.
Oh, so I have to just tell you one other thing. Yeah, we were talking about Paris before and the food and stuff, but I, so I'm trying to do some things for Fran because it's his birthday is like right after we get back. And so, so the food stuff's really more for him. I then I'm going to book kind of for both of us. I mean, because we do have similar interests. But I'm going to book us. Well, I just did it before you walked in through the hotel. I'm buying tickets to the PSG football game.
Are you going to still call it soccer? Messi play?
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, they're the best team in that league, and they're stacked with really great players. And I love soccer so much. I mean, I'm not going to put it out there. Like the one thing I hope about having a little boy, I was like, I want to move to Europe. I'm going to put him in a soccer school. I would love for him to play soccer. I love soccer, and I've never in my life gotten to go to that level of match. Like, I don't really care about MLS soccer. I don't care. Frankly, I don't like soccer in the United States, like any of our teams. I think it's pretty shit compared to everywhere in Europe. So I've really always wanted to go to like a Premier League game or a Champions League final or something, which isn't happening when I'm there, but there just happened to be a game. I was, Googling. I'm going from like opera, like seeing what concerts are there, to then, oh my God, there just happens to be a game at the stadium in Paris. So I'm getting us really good tickets. And I had mentioned something to Francisco about it. Like, there's a PSG game when we're there. And he's like, what?
Is he not a big soccer dude?
He's not a sports dude.
At all.
Mm-mm.
But he's from Mexico.
Right.
Like even non-sport Mexican dudes are kind of at least going to be all into a little bit of soccer.
He duped me a bit. You know how girls dupe guys when they first started dating? He duped me a bit because, I wouldn't say I'm some rabid sports fan, but
hold on, give yourself credit. Jenna would come over to my fucking house and watch UFC fights.
I did.
Okay, so give yourself credit. Jenna would come over and watch football games at my apartment with me. Well, Kinsey wouldn't want to watch, but she'd be there.
That's true.
So Jenna's you're into sports.
I am. And I think, and sometimes it has to do with people that you date, but it's true. I've always been into sports. I'm not, again, I don't like fantasy football. Like I'm not that diehard. I don't do fantasy football. I don't watch every NFL game on Sunday, but I do love it. I do love to sit down and watch a Cowboy game or something. So anyway, and I love soccer. I'll put games on from time to time. So when Fran and I first started dating, the second date, really, it wasn't really a formal date, but it was just kind of like the day after we met, he was going up to this bar restaurant to watch the Cowboys game with some of his guy friends. And he was like, hey, do you want to go watch the Cowboy game? I'm like, yeah, like that sounded like a fun hangout, get to meet some people that he was friends with. And so I went up there and we're drinking and hanging out, and he seemed to be really into it. I mean, it was funny at the time because he would say things like, yay, sports, and so I kind of gathered that he wasn't, either really well-versed or didn't care that much, but I kind of liked it because for whatever reason, my whole dating history is, for the most part, there's been like 2 in there that weren't, but it's like littered with dudes that are super into sports. And so and it can go pretty extreme, when I'm like, you're in 3 fantasy football leagues. Like, do you have a fucking life? Like red flag that I didn't pay attention to. But so for Fran, it was kind of refreshing because I'm like, yeah, he's very cultured. He's traveled a lot. I mean, he has a lot of things I love about him. But as time has gone on, I have learned that he really has no interest in watching anything. And I don't need the guy that's like telling me everything because I know all the football rules. But when I'm sitting there, he's like, what happened? And I was like,
he's asking you.
I was like, well, that was offsides or that was face mask, because I'll know some of those things.
What's a face mask?
He's like, no, I didn't see it. And I was like, okay.
Why is he kicking you?
No, it's fine. And he'll go, I'm like, do you want to watch the Cowboy game? He's like, not really. And I was like, why? They're actually like doing okay.
Like really good.
And my mom is rabid. I mean, my mom's that type that we know after a Cowboy game, she's going to come over to the house. She's going to be wearing Cowboy merch. And Fran even called it the other day. He goes, I bet when Candy comes over here, she's going to go, this is their year. Of course she did when she came over.
This is their year.
But it might be. Yeah. No. So anyway, I've been actually into I want to watch a game every Sunday, and it's just interesting. So I don't even think he cares about going to the soccer game. And for me, I'm literally buying like 4th row tickets to the soccer game. I'm spending a lot of money because when am I ever going to get to see this kind of game again? At least not for years. And so I don't even know if he's going to like it very much.
It's different when it's in person. I think he'll enjoy it more because that is an experience.
Right?
That I don't care if you like soccer or not. That is going to be one of those, oh my God.
Looking at a state, I know, because I think a lot of people in America don't realize that's soccer's the biggest sport in the world, know? And I bet these stadiums, and I mean, well, you got to think about the salaries of those players. I mean, these top soccer players are richer than any athlete other than a couple boxers, know?
Here's the only way I can explain it to our listening audience. If you've never been to a soccer match outside of the U.S., it is, picture the Super Bowl, right?
That's like every game?
Every game. I'm not talking about
excited.
I'm not talking about the level of play, like both teams are equal. No, I'm talking about the fans and the way they're into the game and the chanting and like just how they're every movement is. They don't lose focus on the game at all. They're just all about it. It is incredible.
And I love Fran for who he is, so he'll enjoy it. And so it's not that I have an issue really anymore that he doesn't like sports that much, because he'll watch it and he's like, if you want to, babe, it's like that. But I'm watching, I watch the Ryder Cup, I watch the Masters, like I watch big golf tournaments. Yeah. He doesn't,
No.
Oh, but stuff like that's so good. He does. So anyway, I'm more worried that he's not going to instill a love for sports into our son. That I'm going to be the one out there. I was like, come on, son, we're going to go kick the soccer ball around. But yeah, because I want him to play. I don't necessarily want him to play football or something like that, but I want him to try some sports.
You want Fran to be the coach? Like, do you visualize Fran coaching your son's youth league?
No, I've never envisioned that. No, I don't see that happening at all. No, I don't want him to be the coach.
In Kaysen's early stages of playing football, when it was flag football, and I didn't have the time to coach one season.
Yeah.
They definitely put in a gentleman who had no idea about football, like zero. And it didn't go so well. But
no, I don't want him to
I could see his wife out there just looking at her. Like, I think it was the wife that pushed the husband.
So sweet.
Like, looking at him with just, look at him, like trying.
No, I am great with Fran's attendance at a game or something. I don't know. I don't need him to coach. That's not my dream. Because I don't want him to do anything that he wouldn't be good at or that he doesn't want to do. But yeah, it makes me think, like, I hope that he wants to instill. I don't care what he wants to instill. I mean, I don't care if our kid ends up not playing sports. I really don't. If he likes theater, if he likes,
just a passion. You want your kid to have a passion.
Sure.
Whether it be sports or theater or dance, whatever it is, you just want your kid to. That's at least what I want in my kids.
So then I tell Fran about the other thing I book. And I'm doing this really for both of us because it sounds cool. But do you know what Crazy Horse is? Crazy Horse is like the super edgy, sexier Moulin Rouge.
Awesome.
Like the naked girls performing.
And, really? Like a strip club, but fancy?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, no, it's like
burlesque?
An expensive burlesque club. Yeah, called Crazy Horse. So Moulin Rouge is like a strip club, but fancy, I guess, right? I mean, I guess that's what it is.
I guess. I never heard of Crazy Horse.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that Crazy Horse would be like a strip club or like burlesque show for girls.
I think there is a Crazy Horse in Vegas that is a strip club, right? Isn't that the big? He's acting like he doesn't know. Isn't that the big strip club in Vegas?
I don't know, but I would think it would be a strip club where guys dance and the girls go to.
No, you're right.
Because horses are known to have the thing.
No, I think Crazy Horse is, but definitely a name of a big strip club in Las Vegas.
And I don't
know how I know that. I'm disturbed. How do I know that and y'all don't? Or you're just acting like you don't?
What's the Yelp like on Crazy Horse? 5 stars?
Crazy Horse is, I think, the nice one in Vegas. Like the one where those strippers are just banking.
Oh, 3.5 stars. Could do better, Crazy Horse.
Well, anyone leaving a bad review on a strip club has way too much time on his hands.
I would. Maybe we should read bad reviews from strip clubs someday.
Yeah, will you print us off some of those reviews? I wanna see some of those reviews.
Maybe in the future we could read bad reviews from strip clubs.
So I told Fran about that. He's like, "Oh yes." So that he's hyped about. Of course. To go to that. Yeah, to go to the Crazy Horse show. But yeah, it's like they do 2 sittings a night. You get champagne, which I won't even be able to partake in, and the girls dance, and they're beautiful. And I think the Crazy Horse is more naked than the Moulin Rouge. The Moulin Rouge is the bigger, more famous one in Paris. But yes, they're both pretty sexy. Kind of that Dita Von Teese, I'm assuming. I mean, I've never been, so I'll let you know how it goes.
You guys better stop by Velvet Box and get ready, for after the show.
So I don't know. There's a lot of hoops you have to jump through to travel to Europe right now. So I am gonna hopefully shop a lot when I'm there. Maybe take some sexy things over since this is like a honey baby moon for us.
Velvet Box is now a partner of the Finish podcast. They are now, endorsing us.
This is why I love this, because we live in a world now that you can buy things that may be somewhat uncomfortable to do in person online. And so Velvet Box is a store that's in the DFW area. So, you can go check them out and they'll be very discreet and help you and look at the selection. But you can also buy all their great stuff online.
You know what's cool too? When Kinsey told me she went to lunch with her friends, and there's girls there that, she kind of talks to from time to time, and she started Velvet Box came out because I bought her the little a tool.
Yeah,
I bought her something, and she was really into it, and she brought it up, and all these girls at the table go like, "Oh my gosh, I have one too."
Yeah,
and then they started talking about other things that we have purchased through Velvet Box, and like everybody had one.
Yeah,
it's one of those things that everybody should at least be able to experience, and maybe go on an adventure with your lover and then try some things that maybe.
I wouldn't have a good sex life without things like this, to be totally honest.
And it's totally fine.
Like, it's really helped. I think it's something fun, and I think most women probably aren't ashamed to admit it, but sex is not as enjoyable, for the most part, if you don't incorporate things like this into your intimate life.
Right, so we have a step process here for you listening to the Finish podcast. Okay. 1, visit one of their stores and shop online, or
shop online. Yeah,
that way you could check out what they have to offer. There's introductory items, there's things for the more advanced people, and you'll find something that you can do. Get curious. Ask them about anything. Their employees are so good, and they're not gonna laugh at you. A lot of the times you get uncomfortable when you don't want to ask questions because you feel they're gonna laugh at you. They're not.
You gotta tell yourself they've heard weirder questions.
Absolutely.
Than what you're gonna ask. Yeah.
And here's the third step. You're gonna leave excited because you're gonna be trying something new.
Yeah, and you're going to save some money. If you go to thevelvetbox.com, you're going to get 10% off your first purchase with the code FITISH, FITISH. Again, you can say this code if you decide to shop in store when you're checking out, and they'll have that on file as well. But sign up online too, because they offer virtual lecture style sex education classes. So, probably for stuff like intimacy with your partner and whatnot. So that could be very fun. So yeah, anyway, check out thevelvetbox.com. And again, use the code FITISH for 10% off your order.
Nice little sexy gift to get your husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yeah. So, I'm excited. That's all I have planned. Well, I want to be girly. I want to have like tea, like fancy tea.
Just tea?
No, like just tea.
I don't know, like mushroom tea?
Listen to yourself, just tea.
I don't know, like what tea?
Tea.
Isn't
like,
tea?
Like fancy high tea. Don't you remember I went and did this in London when y'all Americans were being all American and you didn't want to do anything? I went and had one of those where you like pay like a lot of money and you sit down and you have this formal, this is a big thing in Europe. They do afternoon snack time at 4:30, but tea's bigger, of course, in London than it is in France, but you go to these nice hotels or spots that do tea, and they give you these tiered, depending on what you pay for, hundreds of tea choices, best pastry chefs in the entire world. I mean, this pastry chef has like 2 million followers. He makes all the pastries for the hotel, like the tarts with the fruit that look like so good you don't even want to eat them, and the finger sandwiches,
macaroons,
and they're like on a tiered carrier, and they bring it out and they're all dressed up, and you sit there and you just have tea. I told Fran, I was like, we're doing tea. I'm booking tea. Because I'm pregnant. What else am I gonna do?
You're excited about the tea. Fran's excited about the TTs. It's gonna be a good trip for everybody.
Excited about the soccer too. Yeah. I want to wear a beret and have tea.
I want to wear a beret though.
I want to wear a beret.
Berets are cool. Like,
I wish I could smoke cigs and drink wine, but I can't. I'm gonna wear a beret.
And if you smoke a cigarette and Fran, don't you have to do that like that long stick?
I know, that's very cool.
Like with your little beret.
I have red nails, maybe wear red lipstick, wear a beret, have tea.
Well, I bought Kinsey a present.
What?
For her birthday.
Oh,
it was her birthday.
Was this weekend.
I want one for two. It's fine. I want one for two.
At least you're self-aware.
Yeah. She's returning one of them. I bought her a bike.
Interesting you didn't ask me this year.
Because, listen, I was about to.
Yeah.
I was struggling a couple weeks ago.
I mean, her and I haven't hung out a lot lately, but I still know.
But you have great ideas. Yeah, you have great ideas. I started looking, and then I usually keep a note. Fellas, if you don't know this, your notes on your phone are a lifesaver. So anytime my wife says something that she likes, or like, oh, look how cute that is.
Listen to him. It's so good.
I write it down. And so I went back to my notes, and I started going over them. And one of those things, or actually like 5 of them were already, she bought them. Like,
of course.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, right.
And my rule to girls, it was her birthday, is usually like right now through the end of the year, don't buy yourself a bunch of stuff because we're getting into holiday time.
That's why I started getting frustrated. Then I asked my daughter, I was like, this is when it gets cool. When they get older, I was like, Chloe, what should I buy mommy? And she said, a bike. She wants a bike.
Really?
I was like, she wants a bike? And she goes, yeah, she told me she wants a bike. I was like, oh shit. Okay, cool. Bet. I trusted my daughter.
Yeah.
I went and bought it. I was like, what kind of bike? Should I buy her like a mountain bike or something? She goes, no. Get her. She wants like a beach bike. I was like, oh, a cruiser? A beach cruiser? Cool. Ordered it.
That surprises me.
Yeah, ordered it. It showed up the day before her birthday. Thank God. Got it. And then the other one, which was on my notes, I bought her first designer belt. She didn't have any. And I have one that I wear like for my suits and stuff. And it's something like, it's something just to have in the wardrobe, just in case I have a function or whatever. But she doesn't have one. And she would go out and maybe borrow mine. And one day she mentioned, she goes, oh man, I wish I had a belt. So I wrote that down and I bought her the belt. Well, guess which one she's returning? The belt.
Oh, the bike. I was going to say the bike.
I thought the bike too, because that's the one I was like, it was on my notes. She said it. And so when she goes,
I'm so surprised she wants a bike. Like, how often is she going to ride that bike? Do you and the kids ride bikes together a lot?
No.
That's weird. She's not going to ride that bike.
Let me tell you something about bikes, everybody. Let me tell you something about bikes. If you own one, I feel like buying a bike as an adult is like a chore. Like we all buy one.
Yeah.
And then it's just there for decoration. I have a bike that I've ridden twice.
Yeah.
2 times I've ridden this bike. Maybe we'll ride it more that Kinsey has it. You just don't ride it. I asked my friends, like my adult friends, I was like, do you go bike riding? No, they have bikes. They don't go. Do you have a bike?
No.
Well, eventually you will. Like when you get a house, you'll probably buy a bike when you move to the
got one
suburbs.
a long time ago. Never used it. Got rid of it. Yeah.
You know, nobody uses the bikes, but she really wanted the bike. She was super excited about it.
I don't like bike riding. It hurts.
Hurts what?
You know.
The hoo-ha?
Yeah, I don't like it.
What do you mean it hurts the hoo-ha?
Uncomfortable. It hurts
You're not riding for like 20 miles.
My butt bones.
Your butt bones?
Yeah. I don't like it.
The seat is padded like, it's padded like 7 inches.
I don't know. It irritates my vajay. I don't like it.
That's what she said.
Yeah. She's not going to like it.
No, she did a spin class and she said her vajay hurt for like 3 days. And I was like, well, that's rude because you don't say that when I do things.
I don't spin. I don't like it. Yeah, I'm not into bikes. It's not my thing.
She's into it. She said she's going to ride it. I got the one with the freaking gears. Because I knew. Listen, I knew. We're going to get to a fucking hill. And she's going to say, I don't want this bike. It's too much.
Yeah.
I got to stand up, pedal. So I bought the one with the gears.
I'm impressed. I can't believe that you got her a bike and she likes it and she's taking the belt back. But that's fine. I mean, she just wants to choose a different one or get something else.
And I probably shouldn't be like, because I was kind of going at my presence. She said, I'm not going to use the belt very often. I said, you're not going to use the bike very often. And then, so that's.
She'd use a belt way more than a bike. It's about to be winter, too.
And that's when I got in trouble.
Oh.
Because I said she wasn't going to use the bike very often. Apparently that got twisted into, you don't think I want to be active? I was like, no, that's
you think I'm fucking fat?
That's not what I said. I said the belt you can put on with your jeans. This fall, people, I got her this color belt. It's like a tan.
That's nice.
Yeah.
She's going to regret that. She's going to wear it. Yeah.
I looked for the gay guy in the store. I was like, hey, my man, come here. He helped me out. Got me the belt.
So most of them, yeah.
It's going back.
Oh.
It's okay. It's okay. My feelings are hurt, but I'm not telling her they're hurt.
I know what you mean though, because I've started to buy Fran stuff. Like I buy him clothes and whatnot now, and I've gotten real into doing
That's my favorite thing she does. Kinsey knocks it out of the ballpark with my clothes.
That's so good. I'm glad you like it. I think Fran likes it. I mean, I'm trying to. It's hard because sometimes he won't wear it for a while. And I was like, do you not like it? Or does it not fit? Like, do you want to give me some feedback, you know? Because I got him like a jean shirt jacket.
A jerk?
Denim.
A jerk?
A jerk.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's kind of thick. So it wouldn't really button. Like you wouldn't wear it as a button down denim chambray shirt. But
I got a white jerk.
But you'd wear it like open.
Mm-hmm.
You would like it. You'd wear it open over a white tee with pants or something. And he still hasn't worn it. So I'm thinking, he always says it's too hot, which is maybe true.
I mean, we have been having 100-degree weather the last few weeks.
How about
it's
that,
It's just
right?
now getting into fall. Listen, my advice for dudes too is if your girl buys you something, it's because she maybe saw it on a guy and was like, damn, that looks hella good on that dude or on a mannequin or what.
Of course we did. We saw it on the model, like on the Zara.com page.
Be her Ken doll. Let her dress you up.
Yes.
And wear that shit. Kinsey completely changed my style. Your boy was wearing size 38 jeans when I should have been wearing probably at the time because I was very malnourished, 31, 32. But 38 because I'd like them baggy.
You were wearing baggies?
Yeah, because I was shopping at Marshall's and Ross. And so I would just try to find the jeans that I liked.
God, I always forget how clueless guys are. Y'all are so terrible. Like, you don't even know your sizing.
No, I know my sizing, but I would just find the jeans I liked, but they didn't have them in my size because it's Ross or Marshall's. And the size 38 was like $14, but my size ones were like $29. So hell yeah, I'm going to save $10 over here.
Yeah.
You know, so I would buy those. My shirts were all baggy and stuff. She started buying me fitted shirts.
Hey, I'm not one to make fun of JC because I'm having sizing issues with myself. Like, none of my underwear fits. Or
that doesn't fit either.
Comfortable, like you can't wear a thong when you're pregnant.
Why is it just right?
Oh yeah, like my butt just eats it, and it like disappears, and it's so uncomfortable. I don't know. No, I've stopped wearing that. So no, now I'm trying to find I ordered some underwear on Amazon, like cotton underwear, and I got it, and I opened it up, and it is it is so large looking, and I was like, so yesterday I was like, okay. I ordered this in my normal size. I don't know, smaller, medium, whatever. And they are huge. And I put them on and they fit. They fit fine.
Jenna, you're pregnant. It's okay. It's all good.
I put it on. I was like, oh, okay. Like I could wear these for a while. But it fucking sucks because I'm ordering clothes and things like that, but it's like you don't want to spend a lot of money on clothes. But most of my clothes, it makes me realize like that I was pretty small and wearing like ridiculous clothing that was not gonna fit when I'm pregnant, like my crop tops and my high-waisted pants and that those kinds of things that I love, they do not fit whatsoever. So now it's like the leggings and like oversized sweaters and shirts and stuff, but like my bras don't fit. So what do you do with all this stuff?
I don't know.
You buy new things. And then I don't know what in the world I was thinking. I thought I was going to be able to wear shit until like the last month, like wear all my normal stuff until the last month.
No.
And then
that's not going to happen.
I'd buy some things or just buy some, because then I'm buying stuff that's like, I'm buying larges and things or, like sweaters. And I'm like, no, that's not going to work either. I need to buy maternity, like in my size, but then it has this like bump space. Mm-hmm. This is a maternity t-shirt.
A flowy t-shirt.
Yeah.
It looks cool. That's a long ass t-shirt. That's what it is.
It's a long ass t-shirt, but don't look under it because the undergarments. Oh,
why would I look under your t-shirt?
I'm just saying, sometimes I know women get this, but you look in the mirror and you're like, what has happened? What has happened to my body and my life? Like just the bra and the boobs and my nipples are real dark and my stomach is so big. And I'm like, good. I look at my body and I'm like, how do women take sexy? Like if anyone could take pictures? Some sexy bump photos, I would think I could achieve it. Like I'm pretty good with pictures usually, and I cannot fucking figure out how to take one. Friend's like, like I showed him something. He's like, well, that's too revealing. I was like, yeah, it's my bump. Like it's with my stomach.
Oh man, I loved Kinsey when she was pregnant. I will admit though, I don't know if Fran's going through this or went through it, but I did get scared at some point with having sex.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't want my dude coming out with a dented forehead.
I haven't had a lot of sex lately because I hadn't felt good or whatever, but now I'm feeling better. So no, he's
not scared.
No,
I had
no.
I felt like such an idiot because I even asked the doctor. I was like, yo,
no, they're protected in there.
I was like, can I harm my baby?
Please.
That's how the doctor responded. He goes, my guy, you're not that guy.
You're not that guy.
I'm like, how do you know I'm not that guy? Like, come on, I might be that guy. He's like, no guy is that guy. Nobody's you would have to go through a lot of things to get to the forehead. And I was like, all right, cool. So I was a little scared.
Yeah, Fran tells me every day, like he'll just be staring at me and he's like, you look so good. And I'm like, he just wants sex because I haven't been giving him much sex.
I'm telling you, there's something about y'all is like something happens when we plant our seed and our seed's in there.
Oh, God.
And like there's this attraction.
It's a combo seed, first of all.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's not your seed. It's a combo seed.
Okay, so our seed goes to your seed, but whatever happens, we're conjoined in there. Like I don't know if it's it's just it's an attraction I cannot describe.
You know how fucked up that sounds, right? That you're more attracted to us right now because you're inside of us. So like
I don't mean to sound fucked up.
You know what I mean? Like that's like I'm in there.
No, but I'm still like super.
You look better because I'm in there.
I'm still attracted to Kinsey regardless. But it was just something about her during her pregnancy where it was this just magnetic attraction.
People tell you that like you're glowing, and I was like, I'm not.
I'm
like
sweating.
I feel, I get it now. I get all of it. You just don't feel good. I don't know. I just thought I would feel a little sexier, but I don't at all. I feel so. I mean, even right now, I'm like, is that gas or is he just flipping around in there?
Both.
It's both. It's so gross.
Yeah. I wanted to create. Speaking of underwear and gas. This is the dumbest idea I've ever had, but when I was a teenager, I thought that I wanted to team up with like Fender guitar or Martin guitars and create musical thongs.
Why?
I don't know, but like there's got to be a way
like
for me to
musical underwear.
Yeah, put like a guitar string that's wearable to like where a toot comes out. It doesn't sound bad. It just sounds like a nice little G string strum, like a.
It makes it so obvious.
Yeah, I know, but at least it's not like embarrassing. It's like, oh, that's a nice. What was it? An F sharp?
Yeah.
You know.
And on that note, we'll see you next week.
Oh man.